Topeka City Directories are very special. Our city directories are probably one of the most used resources we have here in the Topeka Room Local History Collection. In fact, they're right almost the first thing you see when you walk into the room. So from 1870 all the way to the present, we have city directories that can help you track anything in the last 150 years. Very often when people come in asking about a house or a person or a business, whatever, the city directories are the first things we think of. Topeka has been around since 1854, but certainly by the late 1860s and certainly 1870, people realized they needed some sort of compendium of local information that would tell them who was in town, what businesses were there, or how to get around, maybe a little things about city government, people to know, officials, schools, churches, where they were. So compiling a city directory seemed like a wonderful idea to certain local businessmen to put together in one place all the information residents, old and new, would need to know about their city. Topeka's been very lucky in that we have city directories that were locally produced. Samuel Radges was a local editor who put out a city directory for close to 40 years. Radges was a quirky character. Among his other idiosyncrasies, in his will he left instructions that his crypt was to be electrified and that the daily paper would be delivered to him on a regular basis. However, after a few years they stopped doing that because he refused to pay his bill. One of the other little idiosyncrasies of Mr. Radges was in the 1882 directory, which I happen to have here, he would give the list of local residents, which was great. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever, sometimes there was a star in front of a name, usually a woman. These were the ladies that he called the soiled doves. We've known them as other names as ladies of the evening. And he made a big point of making sure these ladies were identified. And then I think after an edition or two he realized it was really just free advertising, so he stopped doing that. One thing about these city directories, it's a little bit different from a phone book, is that you didn't have to have a telephone to be included. A lot of people well into the 50s, 1950s, did not have phones, but they were included in these city directories, so it's a way to track people even if they didn't have a phone. Sometimes you get these great pictures of where the business is operated. It might be the only image you might have of a building. We get a lot of nostalgic questions, people trying to remember where they went in high school after a dance or something. One frequent phone call we do get from people, which makes use of the city directories, they're having a local bet with an old friend about, where the Collins drive-in was, or who lived down the street from them. We settle a lot of local bets. We've not been able to derive any income from this, but we do have the satisfaction that we've made some people very happy because we were able to check out in the city directories or the phone books an answer for their questions. Here in Special Collections, we also are associated with our genealogy department. The directories added a whole new dimension to genealogy. It's wonderful after you've spent some time on Ancestry.com to be able to come in here and you know who Grandpa is, but then you can look in the city directories and find out where Grandpa lived, if he had a business, who his neighbors were. And it sort of helps round out that somewhat sterile concept of who begat who begat who begat who in genealogy and your family trees, and then fill in and find out who these people were. Having such a long run of city directories has been really helpful for our local history collection here in the Topeka Room. It gives us such a great picture of Topeka over the years, how it's changed, how it's grown. Lots of social change is reflected in these. Topeka City Directories are very special because, for one thing, they provide a picture of Topeka over 130 years of our history. One of the most used resources we have here in the Topeka Room. There's so many ways that the city directories fill in the blanks of hard, cold facts and make it more interesting.